after covering what we hoped our effectiveness will be, how much would all this cost, though? We started out understanding costs using current methods. We spoke with municipalities across 5 continents and found out optimizing traffic lights was very expensive. In many countries, collecting the data needed to optimize a single intersection, before even getting into the cost of the optimization itself, was about $3,000. Optimizing all traffic lights in the United States alone would cost about $1.5 billion. That's why across the world, the average amount of time since an arbitrary traffic light plan was updated is usually several decades. How much would it cost for Google, though? Well, billions of people across the world use Google Maps and Waze while driving. We can only access that information in an aggregated, anonymized, differentially private way, but that's enough to infer traffic dynamics. We estimated that once the right system is in place, our only costs per traffic light would be the cost of electricity, a few cents per intersection. Of course, we'd need to invest a lot of money in R&D to get to that state, but that's all just setup costs, like the fixed costs we discussed in Lesson 2. Once in place, we could optimize the world's traffic lights extremely cost-effectively. This also persuaded us that Google has a serious comparative advantage here, and it's unlikely that this work will be done otherwise, which would prevent us from achieving true counterfactual impact. As I mentioned, we performed similar analyses for about 60 other interventions. But the numbers I shared with you here convinced us that traffic light optimization is the most promising of our opportunities. Why am I telling you this? The goal is not to convince you to work on traffic light optimization. The exact details aren't useful to you. Most of you don't work in tech or traffic management. You don't have the exact same set of opportunities that Google has, and even if you work for Google, you should be looking at the current circumstances, not the circumstances we had when we did this research back in 2019. What hopefully is useful is seeing how we adapted the same principles we talked about in this course to our circumstances, quantified our potential impact, looked for relevant evidence, used rough estimates when some information was missing, and some information is always missing, and tried to estimate our expected counterfactual impact. When you prioritize your own opportunities, you should also do all these things, even if the context of the opportunities you're exploring is completely different.